At Florida Polytechnic University, the Radio Frequency Committee and its members are connecting with people not only in Florida but also around the globe. They're doing this not through Facebook, Twitter, or any other social media site, but through amateur radio. We visited Florida Poly and spoke with our Radio Frequency Committee to learn more.
So today we're trying to work on the 40-meter band here, which is one of the most popular amateur radio bands. We have an antenna set up here that theoretically should allow us to communicate around the world. This differs a bit from radio you might know of, like FM broadcast radio that you would listen to in your car, in that the frequency is much lower, so signals are able to travel much further, namely around the world. From here, we've actually been able to make contacts all the way to the Netherlands, running just 100 watts of power into our dipole setup here. The way these signals travel so far is by, hopefully, the idea is to send as much energy straight up into the sky so that it can bounce off ionized gases in the atmosphere called the ionosphere in the upper layers. And these signals are able to bounce and then come back down to Earth. So depending on the angle you hit that at, you go to all kinds of different places around the world. So if you're making a contact internationally, the length of your conversation kind of depends on what kind of station you're talking to. So if the station is trying to do a contest, which is a type of amateur radio competition, where they try to make as many contacts in as short a time as possible, your conversation might be like 15 to 30 seconds. Usually it's an exchange of call signs, locations, signal report, and then usually you're done. However, if the person's just looking to chat, I've heard people sit on the radio for hours even. Usually, 10 or 15 minutes isn't that uncommon for people to just what's called rag chew, which is like, shooting the breeze. Same thing, just over radio. So it really depends, but generally you can expect at least 30 seconds or so for your for most basic contact on an amateur radio band. In order to successfully communicate over radio, there's a lot of things that have to go right. The engineering of the radio and the antenna system and everything, it requires a lot of work. And if you're an electrical engineer, it applies just about every concept you learn as an electrical engineer to be able to do this. Radios are just a very complicated set of amplifiers, basically. And so as an electrical engineer, you learn a lot about designing amplifiers and signal processing and what it takes to make all that work. And so I personally think it's a lot of fun because this applies a lot of the stuff that I learn in my classes to be able to, use the radio and understand how it works, more importantly.